that the day is coming to an end, and my eyes are drawn to southern skies. And all the while I was trying to pretend the promised land was there beyond the great divide. But I'll be coming home soon. Yeah, I'll be coming home soon. So take me out to California, where the sun is always high, where the streets are paved with gold and no one ever gets old. I'll be longing for that day till you come and take me home. California, California, here I come. I've seen it all upon the silver screen, the happy faces and a sign upon a hill. The wine is flowing and the fields forever green, and all your hopes and dreams will always be fulfilled. So I'll be coming real soon. Yeah, I'll be coming real soon.
This is our last day in Canada. We catch a ferry tonight back to Port Angeles, and I'm also going to call this the end of the Alaska series, although our trip is not finished. Tomorrow we're going to go visit a cousin, and then we're going to work our way down to Portland, where I'm hoping to get a new laptop, because I've had a number of issues with my computer. I think it's partly because editing video just takes a lot out of a laptop, and it gets super hot. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to work our way over and spend a week with the grandkids. And so that's why I'm calling this the end of our incredible journey. We had a wonderful last week in Canada, and so what I thought I'd do for this last video is show you I think it's like 4 or 5 of our favorite things we did in this last week. And yesterday's was just amazing, kind of fulfillment of a multi-decade dream, which I'll show you at the end of the video. Thanks to the recommendation of one of our viewers, we decided to take a side trip to Hyder, Alaska. It's an absolutely glorious drive with glaciers and waterfalls and lots of logging trucks. Hyder is the southernmost Alaskan town accessible by road. It has a population of about 100. The reason that most people visit this area is to go to the Fish Creek Wildlife Observation Site, where if you're lucky, you can see bears feasting on salmon. When we arrived, the salmon had only just returned to the river, so we actually saw more bear on the road than we did at the site. There are no U.S. Forest Service campgrounds in the area, but we were advised that if we drove down the road just a little bit, we would find several pullouts. And so we did that the one night that we spent up there, and then we returned to the observation site early the next morning in hopes of seeing a bear. We only saw one, and then made our way back down this glorious drive and headed toward Terrace, British Columbia. Another great boondocking spot in the National Forest. Yeah, I totally get that. You want some hot sauce on it?
Yeah. Where'd you get that hot sauce?
Got it in Oregon, thanks to Anna, Oregon Anna. You know, this is kind of funny on this trip. We we ended up meeting up with 3 couples along the way. The first was Anna and Dave of Oregon, so Oregon Anna. And then the second was Ken and Lori in Wasilla. And then the third was Anna and Ken in Terrace BC. So now we have to have a Ken, let's see, a Terrace Ken, a Wasilla Ken, a Terrace Anna, and an Oregon Anna to keep it all straight. But it was really, really nice to meet up with locals and get their perspective and all of that. It was just amazing. This trip, I don't think we could have asked for anything better. It was just nearly perfect. And the ferry strike, you know, we still got our ferries in because we're here on Vancouver Island and enjoying it. At the beginning of our journey, when I was complaining about the internet in Canada, Anna contacted me and said that we could stop by her bookstore in Terrace BC. It's called Misty River Books. And she offered us access to their high-speed internet. Now, at that time, we had reservations to take the ferry from Skagway to Prince Rupert, and we would have driven right through Terrace on our way back south. But after the ferry strike, that was no longer the case. But I am so glad that she convinced us to drive the extra hour west to Terrace and mooch dock at their place. Ken and Anna have the same model camper van. It was fun to compare notes and spend time with their delightful family. Okay, I missed my opportunity there.
Sorry. Stranglers in the night.
Okay, I'll let you guys
Stick.
introduce yourselves.
I'm Anna Betty, and this is my husband Ken, and we live in Terrace, BC. And this is John.
Lieutenant Dan. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And they are going to show us, okay, so we've just mooch docked at their place. And they're going to show us the combo, what do they call this?
It is a combo.
It is a combo.
Okay, combo box, which, it just barely opens there.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And what we've done is we've built a wooden sort of framework inside. Anyway, we carry various things in here from dog food to folding chairs and whatever else. And we find it very handy. On top, there's provision for 2 bicycles, which are attached. The upper part of the frame is attached up here with 2 arms, and the wheels sit in these troughs.
Just like our swing hitch. This thing swings the opposite direction. So
And it parks right here.
yeah, parks over there on the side.
So the back doors can be fully opened.
Yeah, right. And I just wanted to point out that these 2 travel with 2 huge poodles.
Well, you're one John's better than 2 poodles.
And we
just
traveled
came
with our
out.
daughter to
Yes.
the Yukon.
And she's
Yeah.
full grown.
She's full grown.
Full-grown
Yeah.
daughter who slept on, because Pleasureway makes this
Inflatable mattress.
an inflatable mattress that apparently the center section deflated on her.
Yeah. So we gave up one of our boards, middle boards, so we had the 2 single beds. And the dog slept at the head of between us, and our daughter then had support for her back.
So she slept across, and you said she's 5'8"?
Yeah,
10.
10. 5'10"? John, you have no excuse. I'm sorry.
For what?
For anything. Although I don't know where you put everything, but that's amazing.
We packed quite light, but everything either fit in here or up in the top. We
But
didn't
it's-
eat out more than we normally
Yeah,
would.
but it's this floor space because you got 2
Yeah.
dogs underfoot. Does somebody take them outside? Do you take the dogs outside?
no, when we travel, the dogs, particularly the black ones, parked right beside Leslie, and she and him were like best buddies
On this sofa.
on the sofa.
Okay.
And then Cedar slept in between us in the passenger and driver's side.
What's the weight rating on the rack?
You can carry up to 200 pounds, which would include your bicycles as well. So if you've got extra heavy bicycles, your
Yeah.
load rating is very limited here.
You could probably put a dog or two in there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I also want to point out,
Thank God I weigh more than 200 pounds or I'd be in there.
I also want to point out that I don't know if you can see it, John, behind Anna, but their bookstore, her bookstore is right here. It's called Misty River Books in Terrace, British Columbia. So if you're in BC, Terrace, Terrace BC, you have to come in and see her very cute bookstore.
The only thing I found with the more weight we had in this box, the harder it was to push it away on the swivel.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, right. All right.
Yeah.
So I got distracted. I didn't answer the question about where did we get this. We got it at the Country Mercantile that had been recommended by Oregon Anna in Washington, just across the border from Oregon on 395. As we traveled south on Highway 97 with plans to take the scenic drive through Whistler, I was a little concerned that the long holiday weekend might mean that campgrounds would be full. Anna had mentioned that many of the parks only will accept reservations for the entire weekend. But once again, we got lucky and came across the historic Hat Creek Ranch, which offers not just a historic roadhouse on the old Caribou Trail, but a wonderful camping experience with spaces for RVs, tents, and even cabins for rent. We enjoyed exploring the entire village. And the local blacksmith was happy to make us 2 hooks that we could use in the van to hang our wet towels. We're the first ones here at Butchart Gardens. For 30 years, I've wanted to go to Butchart Gardens on Vancouver Island. We spent the entire day there, got there when it opened, and left when it was dark. We got to do an afternoon tea and also the boat tour. What a glorious day it was. Since we left Victoria 3 days ago, we've been making a beeline toward the grandkids in South Lake Tahoe. The younger one, the 7-year-old, calls us almost every day saying, "When are you going to be here? When are you going to be here?" So we've been kind of moving along. And we would have probably driven all the way through and stayed in their driveway last night, but we passed a sign that says Lava Beds National Monument, and at the last minute we said, let's go check it out. And I'm so glad we did. We don't have much time here. We did check out some of the caves last night, but there are over 800 caves here. I think it's 24 that are developed so that there are ladders to get down into them, and they're all lava tubes. And you want to make sure you bring your headlamps. You have to have 3 flashlights for every group. And you might even want to wear a bicycle helmet so you don't hit your head on things. There is one campground in the park, and it has 40 sites. It's on a first-come, first-served basis, and they're only $10. The toilets are flushing toilets, not pit toilets, and they do have, water pump stations. And of course, if you have the senior access pass, then it's only $5. It's such a bargain and just beautiful in this pinyon juniper woodland up here. And the weather has just been perfect. It was in the low 70s yesterday. It actually got down to the 40s last night. And there was a ranger talk about the origin of this shield volcano that makes up the Lava Beds National Monument. But this is definitely a place we're going to come back, and hopefully we'll bring the grandkids because I think they would absolutely love exploring these lava tubes. I will be doing follow-up videos in the next several weeks. I do have a trip planned for September, which I'm not going to share what that is just now. But we will have more content on Alaska just to kind of gather up some of the other tidbits, the data, how much we spent on campgrounds and what our gas mileage was, how many gallons of fuel we burned, all that sort of thing will be coming up as the weeks progress. We have another week here in California to spend with the grandkids. We're going to go camping and just have some family time. I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Take me out to California. Take me out to California. I feel the day is coming to an end, and my eyes are drawn to southern skies. And all the while I was trying to pretend the promised land was there beyond the great divide. But I'll be coming home soon. Yeah, I'll be coming home soon. So take me out to California, where the sun is always high, where the streets are paved